Greetings, everyone. Lamar Phillips here, and today we're talking about the relationship between emotional behavior disorders and speech and language disorders. After reading a report, it's not surprising to see that students with language discrepancies move towards having emotional disorders as well. That's shown even at a very young age, as young as 18 months. And because of that, both parents and pediatricians and parents, along with early education centers, should keep an eye on this and be aware of it. I can see how also over time the disparity would increase, because if at a younger age where you're not understood, it's difficult to express oneself, and sometimes difficult in processing and receiving information, that would make academics difficult. But even more so before that, it would make socialization difficult in every area where you're supposed to be receiving information from what they call informants, from rational adults, and having peer-to-peer interaction. All those struggles would get in the way later on of academics, because that's a part of your learning, part of this social first, and those would all be very problematic. Where you saw there wasn't a lot of difference between internal and external factors and manifestations, I could see that. Now, I didn't realize that at with the younger ages, but because of what I've seen in over a quarter of a century, from kindergarten through 12th grade and into the adult world, I've noticed where some people have had trouble maybe not expressing themselves, and so you could see where the frustration was, but they internalize it, and you can sense it to a degree. And then when it's communicated or said back by a therapist or a social worker or someone, then you kind of note it. Other ones, much more obvious, the external ones, those are the ones we see in the classroom. Those are the ones that are pretty obvious. But both exist, and they were both problematic. It didn't say in the report that one was more problematic than the other, or less. That they both existed, and there wasn't too much of a difference between the degree of difficulty that was shared. At least that's the way I read it. And then lastly, I would say I could see also how things over time, as students got older, it would be they would have increasingly more difficulties, because there's more a demand. And if there isn't an intervention where that's taking place at the younger ages, the more that's expected of them, and the less they're able to interact appropriately, that will build up more and more tension and frustration. So in total, I can definitely see where language problems become emotional problems, and maybe vice versa as well, but definitely that way going forward. And if we can intervene and assist and mitigate the negative results, then that would be great for our kiddos. Anyway, that's my take.